All right, and we are back in here on an inconvenient sports pod. I am the host. I'm the host Ricky, alongside with two of my co-hosts, AG and Rod. Say what's up, guys.
What
What's
up?
up?
Yeah, so we had a really interesting weekend. Going on with the NFL draft going. There were a lot of surprising picks. A lot of teams made some moves. Obviously our 49ers ended up drafting Trey Lance. Sad tweet. Um, but hey, man, I'm all for it. We got a new quarterback. Looking forward to it. A lot of new teams also got their quarterbacks. So let's get into it, guys. What are some teams that popped out to you? What teams do you think won the draft, and what teams do you think may have they could have done a little better in that first round?
Go ahead, AG.
Uh, I think, I think right off the bat, the Bengals pick, it's not a bad pick with Jamar Chase. He is the best receiver in this class. But I was saying to Rod, like, because they have already two good receivers. I mean, they have Tyler Boyd and T Hig. Is it T
T.
Higgins?
Higgins. Yeah.
Yes, T Higgins. I mean, two good receivers already, and everyone thought they were gonna draft Penny Sewell out of Oregon, and they didn't. I mean, you want to like solidify the offensive line to protect your quarterback, keep him on his feet so he doesn't tear his ACL. And it was just a surprising pick. Nobody saw it coming. I mean, literally everyone in the draft was just really surprised about that pick. Um, I think after that first round, everyone probably was a little iffy on it. Personally, I think they lost in that first round. But another pick I like was the Chicago Bears going after Justin Fields. I mean, they made the mistake of not getting Patrick Mahomes. I mean, who would have thought, But the talent was so different from Trubisky and Mahomes, and they ended up going with Trubisky, and they didn't make the same mistake by, either selecting Mac Jones, but they traded up and got Justin Fields, and I really like that pick, and I feel like that was probably one of the better picks in the draft.
Right.
Yeah, Rod, what do you think?
Yeah, right. Let me first just start off by saying I figured that the Niners were going to go ahead and pick Trey Lance. I remember saying in the mock draft that I could really see Trey Lance going number 3, and of course I put Justin Fields in the mock, but in my heart I knew Trey Lance was going to go 3, and Ricky, you and I were watching the draft as it was unfolding, and I was just cheering, as loud as I could while you were just, visibly upset with the pick. But like, hey, that's the NFL draft, and I'm happy with the pick, and I'm sure that other 49er fans are gonna really appreciate this pick in the long run. But aside from the Niners pick, another team I think actually stole the draft too. The Cleveland Browns. I think they had a really solid draft, and looking at some of the talent they got Greg Newsome the second, who we didn't have as a first round pick in our mock draft, but he was one of the best players available that I was mentioning throughout our mock draft, and very solid corner, very underrated kind of guy. And then in the second round, they went ahead and drafted Jeremiah Wusu, another guy that we had falling on the first round. And he only actually fell out of the first round because I'm not sure if you guys heard about this. He had a heart condition that was either discovered or he just told teams he had a heart condition. So that's a big reason why he fell out of the first round as well, was because of that. But if if that's all managed, this was a steal that they got in the second round. Then finally in the third round, they got Anthony Schwartz out of Auburn, and he could be a Tyreek Hill kind of guy for them. You look at Cleveland; they lost in the they were a fourth down stop away from beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs last year. And who was the one guy they also couldn't stop on that Chiefs offense? They had to stop Tyreek Hill, and they didn't really have that guy to match up with Tyreek Hill on their offense. They have Jarvis Landry, and they had uh, their own. I think it's Rashad Higgins, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had.
Rashad Higgins.
Yeah, they have those guys who are physical wide receivers, but they don't really have any threat in their slot. For a slot receiver, and I think Anthony Schwartz in a in that offense, if they can, make some plays around him, he's going to, make a day one impact for the Browns for sure. Not really happy with the Packers draft. And, for the Packers, man, Aaron Rodgers was already upset with the team for not getting him any help in drafting Jordan Love. They went ahead and drafted Eric Stokes, who's a talented corner, but I think waiting till the third round to draft the receiver in Amari Rogers, who's a talented receiver. Still, I don't think they got very much help for Aaron, and it's understandable why he's upset with the organization.
Yeah, that was a crazy situation unfolding the morning of the draft. I mean, the Niners were linked to him, and supposedly the Niners offered the number three overall pick. I mean, who knows? Supposedly that report wasn't so true. But yeah, that morning of the draft was really crazy with the Aaron Rodgers situation. But just to bring up another team, I think really uh, didn't do so well in the draft was the Las Vegas Raiders. They made some interesting moves. They went with Alex Leatherwood. I know he's from Alabama, and Ricky, I haven't watched him, but he wasn't so high on everyone's draft board. That was a really weird pick. I mean, the Trayvon Morey pick was pretty good, but they did trade with the Niners. It was really weird. They traded for way less and gave up more to switch in the fourth round. And I don't know if you guys saw that, but I thought it was really weird they did that. I don't know why, but they essentially traded a seventh round pick for our seventh round pick for uh to get the Raiders fourth round pick. But
Yeah.
I just want to bring that up real quick. I think the Raiders had a weird draft.
Go ahead, Ricky.
Yeah, man. So you guys brought up really good picks, Rod, with the Browns. I do like Greg Newsom going to the Browns. That was a good pick. But the team that really stood out to me, maybe guys, was the Dolphins. I mean, you want to talk about getting Jalen Waddle back with Tua? That's a big weapon for Tua right there, man. It's going to be a good slot receiver with Jalen Waddle with that speed and his availability to get open and whatnot. And then also in the first round, they ended up drafting also Jalen Phillips, that defensive end out of Miami, who's going to make a huge impact, I believe, on that defense right away. So they got some really good picks going right there. And so I think another team that also really I think had a good first round was obviously, like you pointed out, AG, Justin Fields going to the Bears. What a move to trade up, because we sensed it coming that a team was going to try to trade up for Justin Fields. We just wanted to know who it was going to be because um, Justin Fields is obviously can't miss talent, and like you mentioned it with the Bears, how they missed Mahomes, they were not going to miss Justin Fields as well. So that was a really good move by them too. And also, I think Micah Parsons to the Cowboys, guys, that's going to be another really good move because the Cowboys have had a little bit of trouble with the linebacker position with Sean Lee getting hurt every other quarter, and Leighton Vander Esch getting hurt by stepping just on the football field. Like it's it's going to be a really good help because Micah Parsons is, I think, what one of the best linebackers that was in this draft class. So it's really exciting to see. But also Caleb Farley of the Titans. That was a really shocking pick. I didn't think the Titans were going to go after a cornerback in the first round, but pulling Farley, that's good. He's a good coverage guy. We were talking about him in our mock draft. We had him in our mock draft, I remember, and I think he's going to be and step in, to help fill in those holes where I think Adoree Jackson left, right?
Right.
He's the one that
Yeah,
left to the Giants.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's going to be
yeah.
some really, really big shoes to fill in. And then a shocking pick, guys, Najee Harris to the Steelers. I mean, I thought Najee was going to go in the first round, but I didn't think he was going to go to the Steelers, man. But to fill in for James Conner, who left away in free agency, it's going to be really interesting to see. Najee Harris. So
Hmm.
yeah, but any other picks that you guys think are going to be making big impacts in the future?
I mean, I think the I think the one of the few picks that you got right. Didn't you have Jalen Phillips going to Miami?
I had Jalen Phillips going to the Vikings.
Was it the Vikings?
I had him going to the Vikings. Yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, just to touch on that, I mean, I think Dolphins had a pretty solid draft. I mean, drafting Jalen Phillips, is really gonna bolster up their defense again. I Another pick I don't think no one saw coming was a Jalen Waddle pick. Um, everyone thought Devontae was gonna go first, but I think you even said that you put Jalen Waddle over Devontae at one point when we started talking about receivers. And another thing to say, like the Eagles, they did really well trading up for Devontae Smith. But I don't know if you guys saw, there's a little video of their war room, and there's some fist bumps going on here and there. But I think it was the president of player personnel. I mean, that's essentially the guy that looks over, um, all the draft region, like college players, and he was not happy with the pick. They One of the guys went to try fist bump him. He pretty much told him to f off. So that kind of gives um, a little look of how the situation's going in Philly, and I just thought that was really funny. But there was a lot of cool videos of guys getting drafted, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw those. I mean, I think it was the seventh round. God, who was it was a long snapper that got drafted, and I forgot what team called, and he thought he was gonna be a undrafted free agent, and the coach said like, "Hey, are you coming or what?" He's like, "Well, I'm thinking about it right now." And then the coach was said like, "Hey, we're gonna draft you right now." And he started freaking out. So there was a lot of funny stuff that went on in this draft. But
Yeah, man. It's like you were saying, a lot of shocking things happened in this draft. A lot of cool things, a lot of like, nice things to see. Also with the more we learn about it, Quiddy Pay and his story too, how he told his mom that he's never gonna have to work another day. Dude, that was, that's what it's all about, man. The draft is where dreams come true. If you guys haven't heard of Quiddy Pay's story, it's definitely a story worth going to see, man. But yeah, but let's get back to it. Our pick on number three, we ended up drafting Mr. Trey Lance out of North Dakota State, Rod's man crush
Yes,
Monday.
sir.
It's so what do you so guys, I'm just gonna set it straight. What do you guys expect to see from Trey Lance with the Niners?
you can start it off, Rod. This is your guy.
So thank you, AG. So for starters, I think this was a phenomenal pick. I mentioned earlier that I was a big Zach Wilson fan to start off, and I think Zach Wilson is still going to do pretty solid things for the Jets. But my next best guy was Trey Lance, and I just put on the film, and this is a guy who was really underrated even since coming out of high school. No Division 1 teams wanted to offer him a scholarship at quarterback. Some schools said, "Hey, you're probably better suited to be a linebacker. You're probably better suited to play safety for us," because he also played defense in high school. But he stuck to his guns, and he's no, I'm a quarterback. I know I'm going to be an NFL quarterback, and good for him to make the decision to go to the FCS. He performed very well. He was 17-0 as a starter, only threw one interception in his entire career. And this guy is just an incredible athlete. He's a very talented thrower and runner. He's definitely going to take a year, I think, to season. For sure. I think, if Jimmy Garoppolo can stay healthy, that's going to be another thing, though, because if we keep Jimmy and he can stay healthy for us, then I, fully expect Trey Lance to sit for the year and learn. I wouldn't want to rush him in. Yeah, he's, gifted and really talented quarterback, but he can still learn a year under the system because Kyle Shanahan's system is a very tough one to learn by far. He has what, like 20-word play calls, I think it is. So.
Yeah, give or take.
I call them the Declaration of Independence play calls, but yeah.
Yeah, that thing has like another page attached to it, just trying to read off the play.
Right.
But yeah, AJ, what do you think of Trey Lance, man? Like, we know you were playing for Justin Fields. You wanted Justin Fields. I wanted Justin Fields too, man. But we got Trey. We're gonna have to live with it. We're gonna have to learn how to accept it, to adapt to it. But what do you expect to see from Trey Lance, man?
You know what? I'm happy for the kid to start off. I mean, for him, I mean, Rod brought it up. No one believed that he was, right to be a quarterback. And just I was watching some film. Someone put it together. I think like a, I mean, it's crazy, but it's like a 3 hour, uh, pretty much like film study of him of all his games that he played. Um, he essentially had 3 seasons at quarterback, right? Am I wrong about that?
He redshirted his freshman year.
Yeah, yeah, he redshirted.
He redshirted.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
then he had the one
I
game
mean,
showcase.
yeah. I mean, I think he had enough to prove that he can play quarterback. And just for Kyle Shanahan to say, "Hey, this is our guy," in January, I mean, that's when everyone started speculating, like, all right, the Niners are definitely going to take a quarterback. I mean, CJ Beathard, Nick Mullins are not doing it right now. Jimmy Garoppolo is struggling. I mean, yeah, I think he was hurt. But, I mean, I trust Kyle Shanahan with this pick. the Niner fan base all wanted Justin Fields. Majority of everyone wanted Justin Fields. Everyone hated the idea that Mac Jones wanted the Niners wanted Mac Jones, and everyone was going in on Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he
Not
even put
everybody,
everybody.
but you know.
I mean, yeah, not everybody, but like Ricky, I think you're part of the 1% that is going to get really ridiculed for pulling for Mac Jones.
Point
But you
zero
know,
one.
Kyle 0.01 whatever. But Kyle Shanahan did give some jabs off of saying like, "Hey man, no one really knows what we're doing," and I trust Kyle Shanahan. If you're gonna go get a guy that you think is gonna fit in your system and that you believe is going to change the organization. I mean, Colin Cowherd said it best. If you're going to swing, go ahead and swing for the fences. I mean, this is where organizations either go get to the Super Bowl or not, get to 5 Super Bowls or not. And even a small majority of fans believe that we were going to pick Trey Lance, hence like Rod. But there's another guy that I follow on Twitter, and I think he's a great follow. Eric Crocker. Uh, he even said in a video, I think early of last month in April, that Trey Lance is probably the most pro-ready quarterback in this draft, and just the things that he's done. I mean, he went under center, blah blah blah, and you know, he has some accuracy issues, but he said in his video, I think you guys should go check it out. It's on YouTube. That he talked to guys that work with NFL quarterbacks, and he said, "Hey, what's the biggest thing to work on to fix? Is it accuracy or reading the field?" And they said, "Oh, easy thing to fix is accuracy." I mean, people think that's hard because that deserves talent, but just the more repetitions you get with accuracy, it's easy to fix. And that's the only problem that Trey Lance had and that was hurting his stock was accuracy. And, it's something easy to fix if quarterbacks are saying that. But here he has the ability to read the defense, and he's done it in college where he was changing plays, calling calls on the line. And I think Kyle Shanahan saw that and he loved that. He's like, I agree. His most pro ready quarterback, and I like to apologize to Rod. I actually do like this pick.
Yeah. You were right, Rod. You were right. You were right all along. And you know what, man? I would love to have Tim Tebow as my quarterback because nah, man. But honestly, like, yeah, you're just saying it. We were together watching the draft, and we saw it unfold, and I broke down. I didn't break down crying, but I just like,
He was crying
we
for
got
sure.
fine. We got Trey Lance. We got Trey Lance, and honestly, man, the more I've thought about it since then, the more I watch, his film and his highlights, I'm really confident that we got ourselves a winner, man. Because we're gonna be able to use this guy in a lot of different ways, and I'm excited to see for it because he's probably got the best offensive mind in football as his coach, man. And like you said, also I think you should take a year off. Learn behind Jimmy, learn the system. Like we said, the experience could be a little factor into it, whatnot. But he's ready, man. This guy's a baller. A football player when you see a football player, and that guy's a football player, man. And so, it'll be exciting to see because honestly, man, all that moment, like we were saying, all the rumors, all that drama that was building up to the draft, it finally, it was like once they announced that pick, it was over. Like that's it. Like all the rumors are done. This is our guy. Thank you, Niners, for giving all of us football fans something to talk about for the last couple of months. And yeah, man. But as far as like what he's going to go into, he's going into, like I said, whatever quarterback was going to go to the Niners was going to go into a great situation, man, because they're going into an offense that is stacked with talent. We got, he's going to be throwing the ball to Debo, to Ayuk, to Kittle. He's going to have a great core of running backs, which is also something that the Niners drafted really well in the draft, I believe. Um, and he's gonna have Kyle Shanahan, man. So he's set up for success, man. When you're put in there, great offensive line. Probably one of the best offensive lines in football. So what more can you ask for? Like and we said that when they traded up, like they want to win now, man. They want to win now. We have the roster now. We resend all of our guys in free agency, right? We take care of that. We took care of the draft. We got the guys that we know, the guys that we think are gonna be able to help our team out, and it's time to go, man. Like, all right, like now, like AG, we were talking about this earlier. OTAs, man. It's like I want to get this train rolling, man. I'm so excited, dude. Like I want August to get here fast, man. Like I want to see Trey Lance. Like I hope are we gonna have a preseason? Do you guys know if we're gonna have a preseason yet?
Yeah,
Has the
yeah. They said that I think they're gonna start the 2 game preseasons and then lead off to the 17 game, which I think that's really beneficial now because those rookies last year didn't have it because I mean due to COVID. But
exactly?
yeah,
And
it's gonna be really beneficial,
we
man.
get to see little flashes of Trey Lance in Shanahan's offense, man. And it's gonna be exciting to see. I'm looking forward to it. You know, let go Niners, man. You know me, man. I don't care who we got. I just want our team to win, get back to the Super Bowl, and actually win it this time.
Yeah, and
So yeah. Any last thoughts, guys, on Trey Lance to the Niners?
yeah, I think just real quick on the whole draft for the Niners, I think they really drafted for the future because no one thought we were going to get 2 linemen in this draft, a running back. Trey Sermon was a great pick, by the way. I love that pick. I love the Jalen Moore pick and the Aaron Banks pick the more I look into their film, but they really looked ahead of the future for Trey Lance to build for him to succeed. And again, like you said, great situation for the quarterback in the top 3 to get picked to a good team that's already stacked and it's already going to be ready building for the future for Trey Lance.
And I've agreed with
Rod,
everything you
I'll
guys
give you the
said.
last word on him.
No, I was just saying I agree with everything you guys have just said. He's going into the best situation, and I find it funny that one of the first guys that actually texted him after he got drafted was George Kittle. Like, because George Kittle's obviously that leader, in the locker room, and I think also Jimmy was also asking Kyle Shanahan for his number. So Jimmy and George Kittle were really some of the first guys to say, "Hey, what's his number? Let's we want to get a hold of him. We want to introduce him to the Niners." So that just really shows the type of chemistry that this team has. And another funny thing about that was the Sunday after, everyone remembers that famous quote from Kyle Shanahan where he said he can't guarantee that anyone in the world's going to be alive on Sunday. That same Sunday, like a lot of the 49ers actually texted or called Kyle Shanahan's just to let him know that they were still alive. And I just thought that was hilarious. They're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, coach, I'm still alive." And you have to know that Kittle was like telling everybody to text Kyle that. He's just that guy that you can tell was probably in charge of making sure everyone texted Kyle to make sure they were all alive, which I think is just a funny story to hear.
Yeah, man. So and also we're gonna stay on the draft for a little while. So we got to see a lot of surprising picks, man. And a lot of those surprising picks are actually college football reunions. So we're gonna see a little bit of Tua and Jalen Waddle again. We're gonna see a little bit of Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith again. Then you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And then a little one was I think Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne both getting drafted back into the same offense. So guys, I want to ask you really quick. Which one of those do you think is gonna work out really well on the next level in the NFL?
Oh, dude, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and don't forget about Randy Moss's son, the tight end,
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus. Thaddeus Moss. I mean, I think that was a great pickup for the Bengals. You already got guys that already know the chemistry to click with. Joe Burrow's probably really happy with this, with this pick in Jamar Chase, and I mean, now he does have more weapons. I hope the line can just try to protect him more. But I think this is probably going to be a really fun offense to watch for this next season, just to see him ball out. But we'll see.
What do you think, Rod? Which one of those duos do you think is gonna have a really, really big impact in the NFL?
I love an underdog story, and I got to go with Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. Personally, I really like the Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, connection. I feel like that offensive line is still not completely there, and I know the Bengals drafted a ton of linemen in the later rounds, but you can't just draft linemen in the 6th and 5th round and expect them to be at the same level. Get a guy in the 6th round and he could pan out, but you're gonna tell me you're gonna draft a 6th round guy and say, okay, you have to go block Aaron Donald for the entire game, like, and make sure he doesn't get to Joe Burrow. So I want to make sure that if both can stay healthy. I know the Bengals have had a history with their first round picks always getting injured, uh, like season ending injuries. So I hope that doesn't happen to Jamar. But the reason why I picked Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith, obviously they didn't have the hugest connection at Alabama because Devontae didn't play that much his freshman year, but I don't know. I just look at these two guys and they have an incredible chip on their shoulders. Jalen Hurts, he started 4 games last year for them. He had 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and he was still doubted as the guy to be their starting quarterback. And you look at Smith and everyone's, pointing at his weight and saying he's not an NFL caliber receiver. So,
Rod, a funny story about that, man. So their freshman year, 2017. I don't know if you remember this game. I remember it, pretty well. Do you remember they went on the road to Mississippi State? They almost got upset that game in Mississippi State. Nick Fitzgerald for the Bulldogs was going off that game. They were actually going to upset them, but little do you know, Jalen Hurts leads a game winning drive down the field. Guess who he connected with for the game winning touchdown with about 30 seconds to go?
Devontae Smith,
Devontae Smith.
dang.
So, it was one of the probably the coolest wins that I ever saw from an Alabama game. But yeah, you were mentioning, man. We've been talking about it. So I think the duo that I think is gonna have a really cool impact is gonna be Tua and Jalen Waddle, man, because they're both really good in their own ways, man. Like Tua can work his craft, but Jalen Waddle can also work his craft too, man. And it's going to be really exciting to see, man, because we were talking about Miami was, really close last year to making it to the playoffs. They're one of those teams where it was Ryan Fitzpatrick, that was winning him games, and their defense was unstoppable, and it was, they were balling out, and now you get to a weapon that he's really familiar with, a lot of crossing routes that he knows that Jalen Waddle's probably going to be able to take to the house because he has that much confidence in Jalen Waddle. And so that's going to be the duo that I think is going to have the biggest impact. But obviously, AG, we also can't take away Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, man, because that LSU offense that year was probably top five greatest offenses I've ever seen in college football in a season. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Right,
They
hands
balled
down.
those two balled out that year, man. All right, now we're gonna jump over to a different topic, different sport, guys. So LeBron James came back this past weekend to the Lakers and aggravated his ankle again, which wasn't. I hate to see as a Laker fan, man. I don't want to see that. That's not what we need going into the playoffs, man. And speaking of the playoffs, the Lakers have fallen, man. I believe right now they're in the seventh seed or tied for seventh or not, or actually the sixth.
They're yeah,
Yeah.
sixth
But guys,
seed.
we're talking about the whole new play-in tournament that's taking place in the NBA this year, and guys, LeBron was pretty salty about the Lakers possibly having to play in that play-in tournament, man. If they keep falling, and he said that whoever made that tournament should be fired. Like they're stupid for doing that. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think LeBron's being just salty about it, or do you guys think that the NBA really did mess up on this play-in tournament?
Oh, I think he's just being really salty. I mean, who wants to do a playing tournament to have back to back games and you could be sitting out resting? And I'm pretty sure he would rather rest out than just to do something like that. Because I mean, the Lakers are banged up. He got hurt again. AD's still out. I mean, their bench ain't solid. Yeah, I think he would want this to change, but I disagree with him. This NBA tournament is going to be really interesting to see. It's going to bring a whole new flavor to the game, and I think it needs this. But I just think he's being salty, honestly.
Yeah, I disagree with LeBron's statement. I think whoever came up with the tournament style thing should get a raise actually because it makes basketball competitive. And I know LeBron's a competitor and that's why he's so upset, but hey, I would be upset too if, you know, LeBron before he went down, they were the second seed in the West and then all of a sudden now they're sitting at the sixth seed, only about half a game ahead of the Trailblazers to not have to play in that tournament, right? They're sitting at six at 36 and 28 overall. The Trailblazers are right behind them at 36 and 29. So obviously they're that close to being in the tournament. And I think, LeBron only hates that because, right, he came back from his injury and all of a sudden, you know, he should be mad at his teammates more than anything because they really let him down. They went 8 and 14 without him. Nobody saw that coming when LeBron went down. Yeah, we felt like maybe the Lakers would fall off just a little bit, but not as much as they did. And I think he's just mad at his teammates more than he is mad at the league. Just a question: why do people like March Madness so much? Why do people love it? Because it's competitive. Because it's that win or go home mentality that those teams have, and that's why people love it so much. And I think this is actually good for the NBA.
Yeah, man. So earlier in this year, the Dallas Mavericks, Luca and their owner were saying that it's pointless because you play this long season and then you have to worry about not playing in a tournament that could get you into the playoffs, which is weird, but like you were saying, like you guys have been saying, it's gonna bring so much excitement, man. And like, yeah, LeBron is being salty about it because if he was the first or second seed, he would, he doesn't have to worry about it. That's why, and that's why the Mavericks also were worrying about it because they were like on the borderline too. So, of course, if you're like gonna fall off, you're gonna say that it's dumb, you know. Um, but hey, man, like it's what the season all comes down to is winner take all, and as if I think the standings were as of yesterday, guys. If that would happen and the Lakers would possibly fall down to the seventh seed, so I told you, the seventh plays the eighth seed, and then the ninth plays the 10th. If LeBron James and the Lakers were in the seventh seed, guys, they would have to play the Golden State Warriors in that first game. Can
Oh
you guys
wow.
just imagine LeBron versus Steph to get into the playoffs? That would be crazy, man. Because Steph Curry is balling out, dude. Steph Curry is
Hmm.
balling out this year, and so
MVP.
it'd be yeah, dude, exactly MVP for Steph. So it'd be really fun to see LeBron versus Steph in a winner take all go to the playoffs. All right, again, we're gonna finish it off with a little segment that we're gonna call it buy or sell. We see this in a lot of other talk shows. It was just a little idea that I got, man. So we're basically gonna be stating facts, and do you guys think it's either true or do you guys think no, it's not gonna happen? It's pretty fun because we could maybe even get a little debate going on with it. So we're gonna let's start right off. So Rod, do you buy or sell Najee Harris has a chance of winning Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I'm gonna have to sell that, and the reason why I think another running back in this draft class has a better shot at winning Rookie of the Year. I have Travis Etienne possibly winning Rookie of the Year. And you look at what James Robinson was able to do behind that Jaguars offensive line last season, being a 1,000-yard rusher. Well, guess what? Etienne is the far better running back than James Robinson. I think that's why they went ahead and drafted him in the first round when they already had him on the roster. And like we said previously, they have that connection already, the Clemson connection with him and Trevor Lawrence. And I just think that Travis Etienne has a far better chance of winning Rookie of the Year than Najee Harris. And that's nothing against Najee Harris. He's a great running back all around, but I don't know. My gut is telling me that I'm gonna have to sell this one.
AG, buy or sell?
I'm buying this. I mean, I think Najee Harris is just a different type of player. He just super dynamic, which he can uplift the offense. I think he's gonna help out that Steelers team. I mean, yeah, they lost Alejandro Villanueva, and I mean, there's some questions at the line, but I think he's gonna help uplift this offense. I mean, no disrespect to Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson, and getting a shot for Rookie of the Year, but I mean, we'll see what that. I mean, you know, rookie quarterbacks most of the times kind of struggle, but some guys adapt. And but I think a better guy that's gonna have a better chance of winning this Offensive Rookie of the Year is gonna be Najee Harris.
Yeah, man. I should have done a buy or sell. I I want to see how many hurdles Najee can do this season, man. That guy's a hurdling machine. And for this one, I have to go ahead and buy because yeah, I'd also have to buy because Najee Harris is one of the most explosive running backs that we've had in college football recently. You know, the guy can do it all. He can catch out of the backfield, great at running the ball. So, and it's a really talented offensive rookie class too, man. You still have all the receivers, man, that we didn't even mention. Apart from the quarterbacks, so it's a big class, but I think Najee Harris definitely has a solid chance of winning offensive rookie of the year. All right. So AG, I'm gonna ask you next. Are you gonna buy or sell Justin Fields starts week one for the Bears?
Oh man, I think I'm buying it. They say that Andy Dalton is going to be the week one starter, but I think Justin Fields is going to be my that number one job, man. I think he's going to show really well in training camp in those two off preseason games. Um, I think he's way more dynamic than Andy Dalton at this point of his career, but I think he's going to show really well in that in that offense, and I buy it.
Rod?
I'm gonna have to buy this one as well. I think, what you guys have already said, that Justin Fields is I think a far better quarterback than Andy Dalton is. I think the only thing that he would have to fix up is his decision making, and that's just gonna come with the off season now that we're actually gonna have an off season this year. So he'll be able to clean that up. Matt Nagy, had nothing but good things to say about Justin Fields, and that's why they trade up. In our mock draft, I figured that the Bears were going to trade up for a quarterback. I just picked the wrong one in Mac Jones. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, I think Justin Fields is far better talented than Andy Dalton day one. And if you look at the Bears Instagram account, I think they made like 12 straight posts about Justin Fields, like right after they drafted him. Like, there was this meme going around like, oh, who do you think is the day one starter for the Bears? And then it was like 12 to 15 straight Instagram posts for the Bears about Justin Fields. I just thought that was a little funny, but honestly, I think Justin Fields is definitely going to be the day one starter for the Bears. He's going to ball out in the preseason or in training camp, and they're going to say this is our guy for sure.
Yeah, man, you guys said it best. I'm also buying this Justin Fields. Matt Nagy's going to be able to create a lot around this guy, like other coaches are with their rookie quarterbacks. Going to put him in a really great situation. Try to make your game fit Justin Fields too. And that's a lot of RPOs, man. A lot of plays to get him to extend plays, and that's what Matt Nagy's, he's a really good offensive mind for that. And I believe, I believe Matt Nagy's going back to calling plays, right? Did I hear that correct?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
That I'm not sure about that one either.
Well, anyway, it'd be cool to see because, you got a good quarterback. You got a good quarterback now. You don't have a Trubisky. Andy Dalton. Not sold on Andy Dalton, and so it's gonna be exciting to see. But I definitely see Justin Fields starting week one for the Bears. All right, another one. We're gonna go with buy or sell. Rod, do you think there's a chance Aaron Rodgers is out of the Packers team before the season starts?
I would have to. So, well, let me just ask this again. So, do I think that the Green Bay Packers are going to trade or get rid of Aaron Rodgers before the season? Am I correct?
Let's go buy or sell. Aaron Rodgers is out of the Packers before the season starts.
I'm gonna have to sell that one. I think that this is if there was any time to trade Aaron Rodgers or release him or anything like that, it shouldn't be just weeks before OTAs and mini camps and all that. It, if you were gonna get a deal done, obviously it should have been before the draft or before the start of free agency. I think we're just a little too late. And I know a deal can still be done. Obviously, it's not like it's impossible to trade him away right now, but the Packers, they're trying to do everything they can to bring him back, and at this point, I don't see Aaron Rodgers choosing to be the host of Jeopardy than playing in the NFL at this point. So I'm gonna have to sell this one, and I think he's gonna still be the Packers quarterback in day one.
AJ?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna sell this. I mean, uh, uh, I think I saw reports saying that, I mean, the Green Bay Packers don't want this at all. Uh, who knows how Aaron Rodgers feels about the situation? I mean, there's reports that he's saying that he doesn't want to be there, but he's open. There's others reports saying that he's open to, renegotiating something. Um, but I think the Packers would be just too too dumb to let him go, man. I mean, this guy is literally the face of your franchise, and he's helping you get to NFC Championship games. Now it's time for your guys' turn to deliver and help him out. And if they let him go, I mean, you can kiss those NFC Championship games goodbye, because I still think they can even make it back into that. And who knows? But I just can't see him leaving.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sell this one too, man. It's hard to see Aaron Rodgers leave Green Bay. It'd be just too hard of a situation to, like Rod said, just this late. Anything can happen still, but I think it's very unlikely that it does happen because Aaron Rodgers, you know, it's a historic franchise with just a historic quarterback with Aaron Rodgers, probably going to go down as maybe the greatest quarterback the Packers have ever had. And so it'll be tough to see, man. It'd be really tough to see, and I just don't see it happening. So yeah, we all agree that we're gonna sell that one. All right. Next up, Rod, buy or sell. The Jaguars make the AFC South a little competitive after their additions in the draft.
I'm gonna have to sell this one. I think, like I've stated in my previous, in our previous mock draft, I think Trevor Lawrence is probably gonna struggle a little bit in his rookie season. Um, just because looking at the film, he does struggle with a couple things. But I still see the Titans as the favorites for that division, and I'm rooting for Duval, man. They deserve a good team, but at the end of the day, I think that the Jaguars are probably going to struggle a little bit still year one under a rookie quarterback, under a rookie coach. I think the Titans are still probably going to be the divisional winners just because Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. So I'm just gonna have to sell this one.
AG.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to sell this one too. Rod said it best. I mean, you have a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach that was coming from college. I mean, who knows how college head coaches are gonna pan out? With Urban Meyer, the draft was kind of weird. Jen Balky's still picking those ACL picks, man, and I just can't trust that. You know, um, I mean they get. I mean, there's some solid pieces for Trevor Lawrence to have an easier go at the NFL, but yeah, Jacksonville does deserve a winning team. It's just not now. It's going to take some time, so who knows? But yeah.
Yeah. Sunshine. We knew he was going to be number one. We knew that. He's going to get into a division where it could it's kind of could be a little bit up for grabs too. Between the Colts and the Titans, man, because with Carson Wentz now at the Colts, man, you just maybe that offense, that team gets a little spark going, and they could give the Titans a run for their money, man. It's like you guys were mentioning it, like the Titans have their powers, but I think the Colts, are a sleeper. They're a real sleeper in that division, and but as far as the Jaguars go, they did added on some talent, but yeah, I see it really difficult for them to give those other teams a run for their money. All right, we're gonna go to another one. There was a huge move last week before the draft started, guys, where Teddy Bridgewater was traded from the Panthers, I believe, to the Broncos. And so another one. So I'm gonna go buy or sell. Rod, do you think Teddy Bridgewater is a starter week one for the Broncos?
I think he definitely deserves it just because Teddy Bridgewater is, I think, not the best quarterback, but I think he's a little underrated. He definitely deserved that one more year in Carolina, just because they didn't have Christian McCaffrey for the majority of the year. They didn't, they were also under a rookie coach, so I think he should have had another year to gel in that system under Joe Brady. But I think Teddy Bridgewater, he this guy was a starting quarterback in the league, and he led the Vikings to the playoffs when he was a starting quarterback. He was just one. If I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. If he had not suffered that bad leg injury in camp, he would probably still be the quarterback for the Vikings right now. I think just because he's not the worst quarterback. He's an average guy. Um, so it's gonna be an interesting battle between him and Drew Lock in training camp. I'm gonna have to buy that Bridgewater is the starting quarterback week 1 for the Broncos.
AJ, what do you
Uh,
think, man?
I just got to. I gotta sell. I don't see Teddy Bridgewater. Them starting him over Drew Lock. I mean, I think they invested in Drew Lock so much already. I don't think they will give up on him yet. But if they feel like they need to start a veteran at that position, and I mean Teddy Bridgewater is a good veteran. I mean he's jumped from the Saints, now over to the Panthers, and now to the Broncos, and Ross, said it. I mean, they did have a rookie head coach. They didn't, have Christian McCaffrey, so it really hurt them the most. And I mean, he couldn't do it all by himself. I mean, you do need a supporting cast for your quarterback, but I mean, he tried to hang on in there. He was being a real veteran, trying to win these games, and it's just a shame because I always root for Teddy Bridgewater, but I mean, it's just really hard seeing them start him over Drew Lock, so I did have to sell.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I'm gonna have to sell this one too. I mean, I think Drew Lock did show some flashes where of potential last year, where you could move on, and with him as your starter, and maybe you see what the third year brings along, man. Because Drew Lock's he's a good quarterback, man. He's still young. We still have a lot to see from him, and I I want to see more of him, and so yeah. With that, like you were also saying, Teddy Bridgewater was put into a little bad situation in Carolina with Matt Rule, but I just I don't see Drew Lock losing his starting quarterback position to the Broncos. All right, and our last buy or sell, Rod. I'm gonna let you go first, man. Buy or sell. You think Trey Lance can take over the Niners if Jimmy Garoppolo is off to a bit of a slow start next year?
Ideally, I would prefer that Trey Lance still sits the entire year because while he's incredibly gifted as a quarterback, there's still some things that he needs to work on. Experience is something that is a big question mark about him, just because he didn't play that many games in college. Uh, and like I've already said, Kyle Shanahan's playbook is pretty hard to learn, just based off what I've heard, like with his play calls being really long. But I think the only way I see Trey Lance starting a game for the Niners this year is if the fans start going crazy, because you guys all remember the chant that the Niner fans were saying for Derek Carr a couple years ago when Alex Smith was performing really bad under Mike Singletary, and the fans were screaming, "We want Carr, we want Carr." And then I went to a Niners game when Blaine Gabbert was a starting quarterback, and Blaine Gabbert was performing really bad, and the fans started screaming, "We want Cap." And I know Kyle has already said that he doesn't, if he lets fans make decisions for him, then he shouldn't be coaching. But you know, like I said, the only way I see him going onto the field is if Jimmy gets hurt and we're not ready to play Rosen, or if the fans are just going nuts, losing it, and he's kind of forced to go in.
Angie,
Yeah, I
what do you
think I
think, man? Do you
definitely
buy or
buy
sell
it.
that?
I mean, if Jimmy's gonna struggle again and or due to injury, you just I don't think Kyle Shanahan has the patience for that anymore. He's looking to win right now. I mean, you got an offensive line already solidified for whoever's in that quarterback to succeed. You got guys that can help with the run game, but I mean, there's gonna be times where you can't rely on the run game, man. You got to make those throws, and if Jimmy can't make those throws, man, and we're behind in games, you got to throw in Trey Lance. And I hate to rush the process, but I said it before. If this kid already has the capability of reading the defense and changing calls at the line, you know, if he just work on that accuracy, he can fit right in the NFL. I don't think he'll have no problem. So I think Kyle Shanahan will be really comfortable with putting Trey Lance in.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and buy it too, man. It could be, if something isn't right, it's not gonna be because of the whole team, because we've said the whole team is complete and they're ready to go. It's gonna be on Jimmy, man, if he's not gonna if he can't make those throws. And so I think, the fans would be, I could see them going a little crazy to see Trey Lance get in there and get a feel with it. It's what's going to be all about, just getting a feel. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, I have my emergency put in the game Trey Lance plays. I have them all scripted and I have them ready to go. And just like that, man, get a feel with it. And who knows? Because we've seen from Jimmy, we don't know what to get from him. I don't know what to expect from Jimmy Garoppolo anymore. And so, yeah, man, I could definitely see Trey Lance being put in there if Jimmy Garoppolo is off to a slow start this. And all right, and that's gonna wrap it up today for this episode of an Inconvenient Sports Pod. Thank you for listening, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.